Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome this beautiful Saturday evening, 20th of the 8th, 2023. My name is Silver and Sibyl, and tonight it's going to be maybe a short one, I say, but I believe that I should actually come on each time that there's a show, and I'm just going to check a couple things. Good meeting today in Brixton. Let me just check something here. I did something wrong. That's it there. 1, 2. Okay, good. Yep. Instagram, YouTube, not YouTube, TikTok. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. Welcome to Talk and Sip Saturday night. Those on YouTube, those on Facebook, welcome again to Talk and Sip Saturday night. And let's rock and roll and let's go for it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again. Those on TikTok, those on Facebook, and those on YouTube. I want to thank you so much for joining me this Saturday night. Tonight today we had a very interesting discussion in Brixton. Today's the third part of the discussion in Jamaica becoming a republic. We had the first one, which was in Nottingham in the UK. The second one was in Birmingham, and the third one today was in Brixton House. And we've been doing these rounds of meetings, discussions in regards to Jamaica becoming a republic, because I believe that this is very important and this is very crucial. What we found out again is that every time we have these discussions or these forums, you find new people and everybody talking about that. I've never heard about this. Tell us some more about it. So therefore, word is getting out, and I believe that everyone has a part to play in this process in Jamaica becoming a republic. There's so much things which are happening out there all around the world, and one of the things that came out today was where's Africa in the process? Who are the Africans in the process of this? Same questions again. What are the advantages and the disadvantage of Jamaica becoming a republic? Same question again. What is the problem we're trying to solve? Same question again as many about it as well, and the education process. So Jamaicans in the diaspora or in overseas in the UK are so much getting in tune. But also one thing that came up as well is this, and what came up as well was this crucial point, is that when people speak to their family back home, they somehow don't know what is happening and about this whole thing. So therefore, a couple persons said, well, they came to find out more information about it so they can also maybe talk to their people as well. I'm going to bring in Ashrag and just say hello. Hey, Ashrag, how are you doing? Good evening, Ms. Bernard.
Not bad. It's a nice Saturday evening.
It's a nice Saturday evening. What is it like in Jamaica? You join me.
It's kind of cloudy where I am. We had rains yesterday.
Okay. At some point one day we have to get a picture of you so we can actually see what we're talking about. But listen, before we go any further, I saw a video going around, and maybe you can shed some light on it. There was another robbery. I hear some big shot of fire in where the place called in Mandeville.
On Caledonia Drive in Mandeville.
Yeah, what's going on there? Oh, before we go any further, what are you drinking? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to be drinking something on Talking Sip Saturday night. What are you drinking? Just so we're drinking. See how I drink something, man.
Of course, I'm having some Kool-Aid.
You drink Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid is
Kool-Aid. I will advertising for Kool-Aid. No, what? I'm having some Kool-Aid.
It doesn't matter. I used to love Kool-Aid. Man. Yes, go on. Yeah. Kool-Aid is good. Actually, this is actually coconut water. Believe it or not, it's coconut water. But of course, you get it in some box.
But
You know what I
but
mean?
but can I may I put a hole in your bubble? Maybe.
Yes.
How did you get that coconut water?
That's what I'm gonna try to say. We buy it out of one box in a Brixton.
No, it's not coconut. Oh, it has nothing. All the electrolytes and all the vitamins and minerals are out, unless you get it directly from the source, from that
So,
coconut itself.
so what you say? I should dash it, eh?
No, you can drink it if you want to consume preservative and sugar. And yeah, you can drink it, but 'cause that's what you're getting now, preservative and whatever sugar that the coconut water had in. Because all the
Oh,
electrolytes and all the vitamins and minerals are gone. These things are consumed not within a short span of them being open for you to get any nutritive value from them.
so it's what fully done.
Fully done.
Fully done. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm having some water as well. But
Okay.
let's talk about briefly about this. If I go into the review of what happened today,
I might
this
not be
big shoot up.
I might not be the best person to speak on this because I have my issues and my doubts, and as I've
That means
always
to say
had with these
that mean
beryllium
that mean to say
attacks.
that mean to say you're the right person to speak about it if you got some issues and some doubts.
Okay, okay, all right, maybe I am. For me, for me, as I said from the onset of the beryllium attacks, right,
Yeah.
that they were staged, hmm
Yes.
and at the end of season one of beryllium robberies, beryllium went into a private partnership or public and private partnership with the government. That was how they were paid for all the acting and the drama that happened, you know. But sadly to say that one security guard was unalived, you know. So I don't think
Uh-huh.
that was intended, but it happened. And as to whether or not it was intended, we realize that we are in actuality dealing with psychopaths as leaders of the world. So I don't know. It's my opinion, and I stand by it. All right. So one might ask, what would have been the purpose of doing that?
Of
And
them,
I would
you mean
tell
of
them,
them? You mean of them holding up a beryllium?
yes, and
Yeah.
I tell them, just like the Panton bank thing there with money went missing. This is all in a effort to get the citizens to be or realize that or accept that there's a risk at physical money. So let's not keep money around. Or the physical money around. Let's go cashless. You know. So that for me that was headed there. Now, what I say about this yesterday, as I've said on some platforms that I was in, when it happened, I ridiculed it and I laughed and I said, okay, the other season of beryllium robbers have begun. That
Yes.
that means that the handlers, and I was saying to somebody, the plane that came in the week must have come in for and given instruction. You're lagging on getting this done. Seeing that Jamaica was the first country in the world, the whole wide world, they believe in flat Earth or global Earth. Jamaica was the first country to get a digitized currency called
Mm.
Jamdex. All right, because we were used as guinea pigs. Okay, so my perspective is that there's a lagging going on with the puppet government, and
You calling
your instruction.
you're calling the present government of Jamaica a puppet government. That's what you're
I'm
alluding to.
calling every government of every country in this
They're,
time
they're
and
puppets.
season
Yeah. Mm,
puppet
mm.
government, right? Because they move at the whim and fancy of the puppeteer. All right.
Yes.
No. So for me, when I saw it yesterday, I said, okay, season two of Beryllium Robberies has begun, right?
Yeah.
And when I spoke it on a platform, as a matter of fact, I was I was put back in on a platform that I had taken myself out of because someone came and said to me, "You need to get back in there to address this."
Mm.
And I re-emerged in that group, and I said to people, just look at things, be critical, just look at the whole thing, look at the video, just look at what is happening and how it is being done, and see if you can see if that looks like um a serious robbery of
So,
monies for the
so what are
ATM.
you trying? What are you trying to say that the robbery or what people are looking at and what I was looking at also because of course I got to see it through the lens of someone's phone. It was something concocted.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I am saying. I'm not. I'm. This is me. This is
Mm.
me. So other persons went ahead, and there are professionals in there too in that group. Police, ex-police, and police. And I remember one of them said, there's some truth to this. Look at that, and look at that, and look at the way, and where are this is Caledonia Avenue,
Mm.
which is in close proximity to the police. So where are the police in terms of getting there with all of these shooting? And why is it shooting just haphazardly happening? There's someone who just willy-nilly firing shots all over the place, and men running up and down. And then you see there is somebody who has on a vest that
Yeah.
I thought initially was one of the guards, until I realized that it was one of the guards. And then eventually you see that they came out with two bags of money and
Yes. That's
the two cars went away. Then there's another video that I got with the police coming down the road. One policeman is out of the vehicle and he's saying, "Where is this happening?" Because I would
yeah.
have thought that if there was a radio information given that you'd know where you are going.
Yes.
But the police was out of the vehicle, running for me in slow motion. Where is this? Where is this? And acting as if he was afraid, too scared. And then the police eventually got there. So I said to somebody, while the police was asking, the shots were being fired and two cars. And for me, then, not even one of the police cars and that police vehicle could not have gift chased to even one of the vehicle because they were evidently on spot with the shots being fired
All
because
right.
you
Hold
could
on.
hear them in that video.
All right. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just see something there. I see a bit of it here. Okay. You're trying to allude to say that this this whole thing. I don't know what the right word is. It
This whole thing is a facade. It's a facade, and
leading
and and,
leading to
and
leading to.
leading to okay. Um, Puppet was instructed that listen or told, listen, you are lagging. You need to get this show on the road and get to being to doing what you were instructed to do. Right. So I
Mm.
said to people, be careful at these machines now because you're going to have another series of one or two more attacks coming on. You know, and then people are because people are afraid already. There is no doubting that people are afraid. People are taking these new apps that they're sending to them and they're accepting and using them, not realizing where it's leading to. So the percentage of persons out there who are hesitant more will be convinced to go ahead. Okay, let's sign on to this thing. Let's get it done because if physical money is going to be causing all of these, it's putting us in jeopardy and other persons in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's
Okay.
all aligned to getting us
Okay. All right.
cashless.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on here Saturday night, and I'm just here for a few minutes, but is going on to talk about the event today. But there's a big thing which happened in Jamaica today. Is it today or yesterday? Is it today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday regarding a shoot up at Scotiabank in Mandeville. I got a better video here. I can't. I'm just gonna play it here, and so people can look at it.
That was a person I thought was a security tool because he
Yeah.
had on a green vest.
Mm. In the yellow, is that a security guard or that's a what?
No, no, that's one of the alleged
Gunmen.
robbers. Hmm. He brought down the first bag that I saw. The bag looked like they weighed about 100 pounds because they struggled to get these bags down. They were heavy.
Yeah. It's very interesting because this thing has been talking about for a while, and different persons are talking that this is some sort of a process or towards Jamaica becoming a cashless society by getting rid of all these cash. Because if you're having the cash and got these brinks or these Berlium vans, then what you're gonna have is cash in the system. But taking it away, taking the cash out of the system, it will reduce these level of armed robbery or so. Is that what you actually?
Alleged armed robberies, and it will also reduce. It will also get rid of the small man and his business. It will get rid of simple interactions of seeing someone on the road who is in need, if
Coconut
they will
man.
be there.
Get rid of the coconut man. Get rid of the coconut man.
So, no, you can't get rid of that one because he's authentic. Well, he's gonna be gone too. You know, to just stop somewhere and at a fish vendor and
Yeah.
arbitrarily purchase a nice steamed fish, or
Yeah.
see somebody who might be in need and go
Yeah.
inside your purse and take out $1,000 and add to them, you know,
Mm.
or to just that all of that. So what this is doing is taking away public interaction. It's taking away, kindness. It's taking away the simple way that poor, the impoverished persons live. That all that will dissipate, because if you don't control, or if you don't have um um your money in hand to do your transactions, exactly what are you? Exactly what are you? And that's the issue I'm having with this cashless thing, and the assiduous nature that this thing is to be implemented now, and the deceptive and wicked and pathological ways that they're using to bring in this,
Well, listen,
to
I
enforce it.
yeah, listen. I had a conversation not so long ago with a friend, and Chat GPT is on its way. AI is something which is happening. You got the script writers in America; they're having demonstrations about AI, and you're saying
That
cashless.
GPT is
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
here.
whoa, whoa,
That
whoa, one
GPT
second,
is
one
here.
second. Oh, no, 1 second. Let me just set the stage, and then you can come in. Chat GPT. In America, you got the demonstration when you had Facebook was coming out. People were opposing. When you had internet was coming out, people were opposing. But step by step, they're all falling in line. What are you? Isn't it a new era, which somehow we can try to fight it, but it's gonna happen. I mean, I know Nigel Farage in the UK here is actually getting a lot of petition to keep cash in the society, which I believe will always be there, but maybe at a minimum level. Um, isn't it that we are moving towards that new era? So what you're saying, Ashwell. And ladies and gentlemen, also please do comment even on TikTok as well. Um, and hear what you take on this, please, Ashwell.
That new era that
Yes.
is being pushed in and implemented by whom? By whom? That's what's important. By the greedy, who thinks that who they call they refer to us as useless feeders.
Useless what?
Useless, useless feeders.
Yes.
Mhm. We're useless feeders. And the mantra that they go with is, we will be happy owning nothing. That's the
Yes.
mantra. We will be
Mm.
happy owning nothing. All right. No, um, it is indeed sad. And as I've said before, I like many other people, I'm experiencing cognitive dissonance. I am. I'll wake up sometimes and I'll pinch myself to see if this is
Yeah.
this is this is the reality. If what is happening or about to happen is a reality. you know and then it takes you to think about the children and the
Mm.
persons who are, as we call it, poor or impoverished, who
Yes.
can't afford their life or existence is based on a hand to mouth thing, on a today thing. It's what I have today. Who don't even have a bank account. So how do they exist? What are they going
Mm.
to do? Where's their purchasing power? Where are they buying from? Because they'll also the poor man will not even have a place for you to purchase from,
Yes.
right? And people must understand that there are many tenants to this cashless system. It is one of them is that if they have digitized your to be able to use whatever currency they're going to come with, that's going to be digitized and not in your hand, but
Yeah.
um you are going if they say you can use it in Portmore, you
Mm.
cannot use it in Spanish Town.
Okay.
It has a location.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that being said. Ms. Johnson right here says change is difficult to implement. The method needs to be the one that would benefit the society. You know, is
Hmm.
is Chat GPT, AI, and these things eventually benefit society? I mean, I go to when I walk in the park in the morning, and you can see me, and there's two uh calf which I go to from during the COVID period, go walking during COVID period, mask and everything like that. Cash, of course, many people are saying no cash because they say it was actually transmitting the virus, but it still remained. I know it still remained that it is still cashless. So those two CAF are cashless, and many places are. People hardly walk with cash anymore and so like that. Isn't it a change which is difficult to implement, but it's going to be a benefit to society? I'm just putting one out there, as Miss Johnson put it.
Benefit to society in what way? Okay,
Mm.
the fact is, unless Miss Johnson lives in a bubble, and Miss Johnson is not seeing that they have actually told you exactly what is going to happen, exactly how it is going to go. They're not hiding it. What how it will be how it will be utilized. They're not hiding that. The only thing. One of the things that is causing this not to be implemented as yet in Jamaica is the needs. We need a digitized identification for everything to be compiled,
Yes.
right? So you're gonna have all your IDs on it, your medical on it, and whatever status you have in terms of banking, right? So with your medical on it, there's another tenant to it. If you want to purchase something, and say
Yeah.
you're diabetic, I might feel for a piece of cake, because sometimes people do that. It will say they will tell you that you can't
Are
purchase
you
this
trying to
cake.
drop words on me because I like cake?
No, 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 but it's not really a joke. When you
Mm.
think about it, people are being convinced that it's for your convenience not to have money in your hand to spend. That they will and let them know this other tenant is that it will have a shelf life. It will have a shelf life. If they say it is going to be usable, because it is programmable, So what is something programmable? So I mean, it's a preponderance of mishaps that can happen with a programmable,
Mm.
monetized, digitized money, right? So what's going to happen? This thing might touch that lady who commented there. If they say it lasts for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, it is gone. You no longer have it. It's no longer in existence because
Mm.
it has a time when it is usable attached to it. So if you had $1 million and they said that $1 million is must be used within 3 months or 2 weeks, if you do not use within that time, it's no longer there. It is depleted. It will
Yeah.
not be there. So people need to get information. We are in the age of information. People need to get information and make themselves aware of what they are open-eyed, wide open, walking into blindly. You
Mm.
understand? Because there's something that came out the other day again now is that they have to tell you because it's like it's a mind game. It's a game that we don't understand. That if they put out everything and let you know what they're doing, right? But if
Who
you
is?
do not concur, if if you do not concur, it cannot happen. So that is what people don't understand. This mind game. This digitized, computerized mind game, the matrix, if you do not concur with what they put out to happen, it cannot happen. So resistance is needed. Resistance is needed. People can't just walk blindly into tyranny and then say, oh, it's convenient. And then guess what? This is accepting it now, and then later on you cry. Later on you say, what did I do? Too late shall be the cry.
Who is this
You
day?
know?
You keep saying this day. Who is this day?
Okay, let me tell you about the day.
Yeah.
The day are the, before I go any further, why you have so many, um, so many, let me call them, so many people of, uh, or not melanated unmelanated people fighting now, like in, or standing up now, like in Italy, in France, in Australia. You know why? Because they realize that regardless of their ethnicity, they have cut out the middle class. So middle
Mm,
class. So if they were in a comfort zone about middle class is cut out now. So you're either amongst the elite, super rich, or you are poor,
mm,
right? So they have realized this. Sorry about that. So they have realized this, and that is where their fight is in now, in earnest, right?
mm.
Now, who are referred to as the day is the ones that we see are not the most serious ones. The ones like the Rothschilds and the Kennedys and the Gates and all of those. The one from who runs the WEF.
Mm.
These people are puppets to the cabal. The cabal are the ones who are never identified. You know nothing about them. They're never seen. They sign no documents that they're just not known, right? So they have these persons who they they do all the work, the frontline work for the cabal, and I am investigating the cabal, and some names that comes out with the cabal. It's for another. It's for another another life. But we are,
Oh,
it's a
sorry, go on.
spiritual, it's a spiritual warfare, and it has a lot to do. I don't think people watch Harry Potter. We are in that kind of place where people have no are now pushed ahead in their subconscious, that they're able to control their subconscious and their consciousness, and they've
Yeah,
gone into other realms that they're
yeah,
able to control and manipulate, and the average person doesn't understand that it's all mind and
yeah.
spiritual, and it's out in a chasm, a portal, and it's
Yeah.
open, and
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. Otis Pinnock just said a while ago, change is inevitable, but I agree that programmable digital currencies run by the central bank is insidious in nature. So there are
Thank
lots of
you.
shortcomings regarding the bit. But let's go back to the cabal and the different ways how the world is being controlled or so. Was this the same argument when Facebook was coming out? Was this the same argument when um, internet came out and the emails came out? Were these same arguments being pushed as well? Same discussions
Uh,
being pushed?
I
Or
wasn't a part of those discussions. I was just observing, but I'll tell you this much.
yeah.
Um, that gentleman just said changes are inevitable. And I'll tell you this much. There are many phrases that have been coined or penned for particular mind games or mind acceptance, you know.
Yeah.
So we ought to be careful of just walking and accepting things that have been coined and penned by
Yeah.
particular people to put up a particular mindset for of
Mm,
acceptance. All right,
mm,
because I'll just show you one word. I'll just show you one word. Two
yeah.
words. A difference between kids and children. And you know, the more you read and investigate, our offsprings are kids. Their
Mm,
offsprings are children, and our offsprings are kids because they are animalized. They are put down to goats. We are, so anything can happen to them because they are not full humans. It is it. I mean, it is. I tell you something. You know, it is frightful, but It is amazing. It is
Mm.
jaw-droppingly provocative, the kind of information when you that is out there about some things that we took for granted. You know, we were given Facebooks and all these apps as they came along, and we were told that okay, they're all designed to take away physical human interaction,
Connection, interactions, yes.
because all of this is about taking away personal interaction by human beings. Okay, and that's some of the things that people need to understand. So okay, they come with the apps, and you know that is why people are even so insensitive, as far as I'm concerned, to their feelings are gone now. I remember when like Facebook just came in, and I was kind of you LOL, and I said, this
Hello,
is going to
yeah.
cause
Yeah.
a lot of spelling and intelligence
Yes.
deficiency as far as these things that
Mm.
as they came up, and that was what was intended to do. You take shortcuts into saying certain things, then you go on now and you become insensitive and you become sensitized and you become numb to people's pain. You see these things being broadcasted on the platforms, and you just watch them, and it's like, okay, it's just another day, you know. So that's what they are intended for.
And
All of
it's
them are
okay.
intended.
Uh, Sorry. Mm? Hello.
They're intended to distract.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right about the fact that we have got to have some level of control into how things are around us, where we take full control back. Because when you mentioned about the LOL, I was speaking to someone recently, and I said, there was a discussion one time about GE, which is good evening, GM, good morning, and
Hmm.
I was getting really a bit annoyed by it, because
Hmm.
I'll give up my beautiful good morning. I say good
Of
morning, how are
course.
you, and the person come back and say GE and GM, or and I was getting a bit annoyed by these things, and I just leave people who are of that disposition. But even today, when I was in Brixton and having the forum, we could have had a forum online only, online only, whereby everybody come in, and I tell you, sometimes we registered for more people in a way, even though it's a good turnout, but people are actually coming as, oh, can I come in online, can I watch? And the organizer said, no, the reason why we have it here is because we wanted to come physically, because people are now taking advantage, or how should I say, take advantage, taking the alternative
Yes, you
of not
sure.
being,
Yes,
of not
alternative.
being
The
faithful.
alternative.
I'm
Hmm.
sorry,
The
what you said?
alternative sounds better.
The
The
alternative, yeah,
alternative.
yeah. Take the alternative. That's why I took out the advantage of
Mm.
actually not interfacing one to one and having discourse, because people are meant to do that, but people want to go
People are
online.
meant to do that.
People want to go
We're allowed to
online.
electrify each other. We're allowed to
Electrify.
electrify each other.
Mm,
You understand? A hug, a handshake, it is electromagnetic. We are commuting with the earth. That's what we are meant to do. You
mm,
understand? So they're taking away all of this. And it has happened. And that 2 years of shutdown was a grand rehearsal to show that, yeah, many persons many persons were suicidal or did do it because they
mm,
had nobody to be within those shutdown periods. And that was what was intended. That
mm.
was what was intended by all that happened. You
Yeah.
understand? So people need to understand that there are underlying things that we are not looking at. We're just looking at surface level, and it is deeper than surface level. You know, and it is in interaction that we get understandings, and we are. I was on a live today, and I tell you, we were talking about hurt that a mother might have given to a daughter, and I spoke, and somebody said, if I could stop, and I did stop. And she said, I'm going to relate to what you said, and I am so and so, and she started crying. And I tell you that I reached out to her. I said, you can follow me and you can inbox me. Let's talk. She
Yeah.
is suffering, being alone. And I thought, she said that yesterday she thought of not seeing today.
So
And
she was
this is
mm.
many people reality,
Yeah,
many persons reality.
No, you're right. You're right in a sense. And I mean, this wasn't like where I was going, but because I said I was gonna stay on
No,
for
no, no.
5.
Remember, we're just talking. Well, the question that you asked again, what is it?
No, 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 no. No, I think what you're saying is crucial because, as I said, it was supposed to be a 5 minutes and just say hi. I can't make it tonight, but it's good having this conversation because, walking in the park and this may sound like it's going off topic. I see sometimes people walking with their heads down and they're low, And I remember one time there was a chap. Uh, he was walking low and his head low and down, and somehow it turned around that we crossed path and we started to talk. And then it turned out that he said, "Boy, he's having a really, really bad time," and he just started to open up about his children and his ex partners, and everything like that. And he was saying it was really, really low. And unfortunately, because of my legal career and in children, I was able to give him some tips, if anything, and it sort of changed his whole thinking process. But this is what happens, I believe, when people are not able to somewhat interact with individuals
Mm-hmm.
and with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that people are actually made and created with visions and purpose, not for themselves, but for others. And just like how one is created for others, others are also created for you. Like
True.
today, as I said, when I was at the discussion, which I have to go into now because I want to, well, the discussion
Mm-hmm.
about Jamaica becoming a republic, and I was there and I met a few persons there who said they came because they follow me and my walk and talk and the discussions, and
Mm-hmm.
that was good because it made such a big difference actually meeting people that you may speak to sometime online and seeing some people that I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen for a long time and people actually why being being relating to and
Mm-hmm.
I've never met.
Yes.
And it made such a big difference that you could say forums or these discussions on Jamaica becoming a republic, you could do it online, Zoom, and get everybody to come in and sit down and blah blah blah, ray. But how effective is that? How really
And
effective is that?
and the designers of this discussion must have been at a realization that interpersonal reactions or relationships are almost becoming a thing of the past.
Mm,
Everybody is doing a Zoom meeting, a Zoom meet up, a this, that meet up, and that's what the intention of these platforms. Okay. Now, for this one in particular, it has a lot of good to it where
mm,
we can relate, and speak, and so as the other one there. But let me tell you something.
mm,
Nothing beats interpersonal actions, right? They are taking away everything. They are taking away everything. They are designing these 15-minute cities where how they are building them is that you live at the top and you come down to work at another floor and you purchase whatever you can at the next floor and you go back. Not even sunshine you're allowed to go out and have. Not I tell you anyway, let's get to why we are here, Mr.
well,
Host, because this is too much.
ladies and gentlemen, today I was at the third and final town hall meeting discussing Jamaica becoming a republic, and this is something which is passionate as Jamaica is moving towards that zone, and as you can see, there are 14 persons who are on the committee. We had Ambassador Rocky Mead who came, and Donna Scott Motley who came on, and we had that discussion. And what was really good about it was that there were so many people really intrigued by what happened, and especially it was the first time I met Ambassador Rocky Mead sharing his bit in regards to the process. And I know sometimes people say we were getting the questions like, why is it now? Why are we talking about this now? Why wouldn't it then? And I think we got to draw the conclusion, say, let's not talk about the then and just talk about the fact that we are there now and let's just do it now. And and the not the roadblock, but the impasse that came up was what type of republic that we want, whether it is a ceremonial or whether it is executive. And it was a very tricky one. And ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube channel, it's on the YouTube. It's on my YouTube, so you can go back on my YouTube here and you can watch it. It's about 3 hours. So that's what I was saying. I'm shattered and I can't come on tonight. But I said, let me just do my due diligence and just show my face. But it was 3 hours and standing most of the time as I was moderating it. Um, it 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 pointed out that some are saying, and some young people were there. It was very intriguing. What was saying things like the Westminster system, while it has its downfall, we got to be careful about how we move from it and where we're going to go to. You know, some were just saying, man, just cut them off completely, cut off the king. We must be able to stand by ourselves. Yeah. So, what turns out is that I believe that the momentum of it has got to continue in some respect. You know, it's got to continue in some respect, and it is very clear that people in the diaspora have recognized that, and some said, a couple of persons said, not much that we can do here. Is the people back home got to do something? But they also say that a lot of the people back home are not educated enough to understand. And the big question is, will the government reach down to their level to try to actually engage and bring them up to speed on their own level? What do you think about that point? There's your
Mhm.
sorry, Dion. Hey, good evening. What do you think about that? Um,
Well,
audience, yeah.
I'll tell you this much. There are some there are some I mean, there are some town hall meetings that are happening, right? I've never been privy to know where one is because you don't get that kind of information. You just see something comes up on whatever platform you're on to say a town hall meeting happened. And I've heard questions being asked of the persons on the panel, persons who are supposed to, who are part of this whole team of people who, you know, are going around trying to tell people about this thing. And questions are asked that they know nothing about. They have no
Mm,
answers to, you know. There are no answers that they have can give to it, right? My other issue is with the representation of the persons who are on this panel, right? Because I am not seeing a true representation, right? In terms of I'm not seeing I see representation for the elite, our Jamaican elites. I see representation for the for business. You know, I do not see representation for the mass, the poor, the people, the impoverished, the people who will be most affected by whatever happens in all of this. I'm not
mm,
seeing a true representation of that. And that is what gets me upset and angry, right? That you the, I mean, in all truth and honesty, if you are going to be doing something like a total rewrite, because that's what it is, a
mm,
total rewrite of our constitution, right?
mm.
You ought to have good representation from every sector of society,
Yeah.
every and it is not reflected here.
Yes.
It's not reflected here. And they are doing this or trying to move so assiduously, you know, without regard for a person's understanding. It's not. It's like somebody, you'll have one in St. Thomas in a particular little area, and somebody asks a question. There's no answer. Okay, we'll have to get back to you. There is no continuance. When did you get back to this person? There is no. So it is just being done to say that we did these things, right?
Mm.
But are the people really getting the gist or having any understanding of what this entails? And I will say no.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's very interesting. Well, one of the things that came out anyhow, and Ambassador Rocky Mead, as was being told about it, is the level of communication and the level of interaction and how they're going to reach out to people. And I believe really and truly If one is going to wait for the government for it to happen, uh, it may not. But just because the government is not doing it, that doesn't mean to say, is it the government to blame, or is it that the people need to take hold of it? It's just like Black History Month is going to come shortly soon in the UK, and when Black History come, what is going to happen? You're going to find a lot of actually persons going about and wanting to get involved in, you know, talking about Black history and wanting it to be taught in the schools. But I believe very much and very strongly that Black history need to be taught a lot by people. Yeah, people need to talk Black history in their homes, parents, and everyone, and not waiting for government or not waiting for schools to start that process. I believe we got a full responsibility in doing so. You know, that's my thinking. So, in regards to this whole aspect of Jamaica becoming a republic, I strongly believe that it is very important and so important that we all have a responsibility to do so. Those who are fully abreast of a duty to share it with others, because it's a once in a lifetime thing, you know, as
But
much as
for me, you know what it will be, from what I got to understanding, what it will be is a reflection of, okay, so it will be the Westminster style representation, right, of
Mm.
persons who are, so you'll still have the executive, the judiciary, the legislative, and all of those bodies, right there. But from what a document I got, right, you'll even have a representation of the governor general, but you'll just not be British. It'll just
Mm.
not be British, okay? And what it will be, that's what for me is, because I some words were spoken by our honorable prime minister some months ago. That he said he wanted to be the head of the head of state, or the president of this republic for 20 years,
Really?
right?
He said that?
Yes. Yes, he uttered that. That was out in the public domain. You know, one of the things. I'm going to look for it and send it to you. He said he wanted to be prime minister, president for 20 years. You know, and when I'm looking at the people that my prime minister is aligned to, and apart from even that, every governance now with what is being proposed to happen by the cabal, every governance now is going to be tyrannical. It's going to be authoritarian.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
when we look at who the allies of our government is, you know, the Israel, the
Yes.
Russia, the
Yes.
China, the North Korea, you know, yeah. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have been so deceived. I'm saying it
Yes.
again, like I said yesterday. I think I am in the process of rebooting, and I'm telling people, listen. You know, I come to a point sometimes where you say, okay, what can you do? You know,
Mm.
is there anything we can do? It is really biblical. Is this the no? Is this the time for
Yes.
prophecy to be fulfilled? You know,
Wow.
but
Wow.
then again, I say to somebody, persons also know the prophecy, the Kabbalah, and they are just like how they are able to deceive us about going to the moon and going in outer space. You know, all of these deceptions.
Are you
They
trying to
can
say
also
nobody? Are you trying to say they didn't go to this moon many years ago?
absolutely. Didn't you look? I mean, you know what happened? I would have
No, no,
thought
no, no,
that
no, 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 no. I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to be reprimanded by saying I'm changing the subject. We're not going to touch on the moon yet. Let's finish this point.
okay, okay, you know, but but a rewrite of a constitution
Mm.
is a very, very serious thing, and
Mm.
we need to look at the persons
Yes.
who are in governance now. Persons who are not answerable to us. They owe us no accountability. We have bodies that are in place to investigate and to put forward certain things that
Yes.
are being gagged, like the Integrity Commission. There's a gag order on certain things. Is it that we think that these people are really honorable enough, quote unquote, honorable enough to lead into this kind of governance? Are we sure of what we are doing? Aren't we seeing, to use the gentleman's word, the assiduous nature of these people, the selfishness of them?
Mm. Yeah.
Are
All
we
right.
blinded? Are
Yeah.
we
Well,
blinded by this?
yeah. Well, listen, good pointers and talking points that people can listen to, and at least it's a 1 hour uh uh concise discussion today. But before we go, I want to thank you so much for joining. And before you go, I need to just go back to what Miss Johnson says and go back to the point that we said loneliness is an ongoing issue. However, it's affecting younger demographics more than before in our society. Apps can be used as an adjunct, not as a sole means of socialization. You know, it says affecting younger demographics, you know, and apps can be used as an adjunct, not as a sole means of socialization. What's your take on that before we wrap up?
Okay, my take on that, and I'll say it again. I'll
Mm,
reiterate, nothing beats human interaction. And what is happening now, what is happening with our young people now too, is that um, relationships, let's get to the, I'm not, the sexual relationships or the relationships between man and woman, there is so much left to be desired from
right.
the persons who are out there right now to enter into these situations. There's a lot left, a lot to be desired. You know, women or young people are not able to young people are not able to find
Mm,
mates who they can go on and have anything of value in terms of relationship, right?
mm.
Because everybody's out to get somebody, everybody's out with their own agenda. It's not beautiful anymore. You know,
Yeah.
people are fake. They're not exactly who they are or who they say they are, right? And these apps that they're talking about, you know how many times people have, on the apps have been, there's a word for it. They have been
Sp-
talking to people on the apps for how long, and only to be what's the word? The persons are
Um,
not real. They're not who they say they are. I'm not remembering it
catfish,
right now.
baby fish or catfish or what fish or something like that.
Catfish, catfish.
Yeah,
Nothing
there.
real,
Yeah,
no. You have to be able to decipher what's real and nothing beats
yeah.
real meetings.
I saw,
Nothing beats
I,
real
I saw,
interactions.
I saw a video of a guy that he was speaking to this lady for youngs, and he was sending money to this person, and then it turned out that the real person they got, the investigators got the real person to talk to him and said, "No, it wasn't me," and he said, you know. And he was so, and he said, "Well, thank you so much, that you came,
Yes, I saw it.
and
And the other person was so upset that the person actually used his thing.
yes, yes,
You know,
yes,
so we have
yeah.
to be careful. We have to be
You're,
mindful.
you're right about
Nothing,
that, and
nothing here is designed for us.
yes, yes.
Nothing here is
Well,
designed for our benefit.
yes. Well,
You
ladies
know.
and gentlemen, it's a very good one, very good discussion. My 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Simone. Well, I got a brownie point from Simone, so I guess I made it. Um, she was the one who messaged me and said, "Keep on the topic."
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
um, but I think this is such a crucial thing. And I was speaking to a colleague yesterday today, and he was talking about we need to have some discussion about young people, and he was talking about me, talk about him, talk about the age of my son, and we're talking about the disparity about them, the mentorship and all those sort of things, which is so very crucial. But one thing I'm going to tackle in, and my colleague O'Neill is not here tonight, but we're going to tackle still, no matter what, Chat GPT, AI, and really look into it, because the reality of it is that it is here, and just like what is happening in America regarding the what's the people called, the script writers, and taking people jobs and everything. We've got to look into it as much as possible, and we cannot just let the mainstream dictate or guide us or show us how these things. Just like what you're doing, Ashrag, we got to dig deep as well and come up with our reality and our truth as to these things, and not just be led like lambs to the slaughter. Is that a fair statement to make? I want to be led like lambs to the slaughter. And just like what you said to me one time, when I walk in the park, take off my shoes, and I did it a couple times. I just, of course,
Mhm.
I made sure it was a good spot. But walking in the park, with my just getting the toxins in. And I think it is good when you're really engaged with nature, natural things, touching base with people. You know, I'm gonna finish with this point here. When I'm in the park, and I like talking about this, there's a point sometime when you see the dogs them, and it's like the dogs see another dog that they know from a distance, and they just run away, leaving their owners, and they're just having
And
a
eat
having a
each
field
other.
time. They're just having a field time, and it's
Mhm.
and I look at it and I say, wow, I remember those days when we used to play. You just run,
Mhm.
having fun. The
Mhm.
dogs were just
Mhm.
happy go lucky.
Mhm.
And I'm saying,
Mhm.
shucks, man. But now everybody's not everybody, but the isolated thing which is happening now, we've got to we capitalize, and we've got to use social media at the same time to our benefit, because that's how I met you. Social media as its play
Mhm.
and as its part, but we also have to, stick to the reality as well. North Korea, tell me what about North Korea. That's another time we're going to talk about North Korea as well. And you know one thing we're going to talk about, Niger, we're going to talk about, you know
Niger, Niger,
you know
Niger.
yeah,
It's
somebody,
French, it's French.
somebody said
Mhm.
today, Silver, do you know that the Wagner guys were coming from Mali, where were they coming
From
from?
Mali, you're from Mali, yes.
Yeah, and they were
Mhm.
having things, and I said, Anyway, let's leave that right there, because I think some people,
There are
I,
many things to be discussed, and
I
you have a platform so to do. But just to say one thing before I go,
yeah,
many programmable things are happening, and people need to know this, and people need to know that there are things that we can do, and we can actually take our governments to court for for the juke or the jab.
yeah,
People don't do it now. With information coming out now that the nanoparticle is actually a device. We
mm,
were told that we were taking a device, were we? No. And the nanoparticle is programmable. The nanoparticle is your antenna. It's going to make you subservient to the AIs,
yeah.
subhuman. And thank
Well,
you again, Silbo. It was
yes.
nice being here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me tonight. As I said, the show wasn't a planned show tonight, but you're there, and thank you also, other person. Thank you, Simone, for coming on as well. Thank you, Otis Pinnock as well, Desire, and on TikTok, I've been some faithful persons listening on TikTok as well. Just use TikTok, as you say. Maybe have the agenda, but let's use it. Let's capitalize on it as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? All right. Ashra, peace out.
Okay?
Let's talk
Peace
about
out.
things, and all the
Yeah.
best. And we got to also talk about the Bank of Jamaica governor at some point. All these different things as well. Because I've talked about the Bank of England governor, the big belly man. Let's see if Sabah there's something else.
uh,
All right. Peace out.
yes.
Thank you very much. All the
Peace
best.
out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was gonna stay for 5 minutes, but it went for 1 hour, which is very good. Stay faithful to the truth. And I was contemplating whether I should come on tonight, but I was guided and advised that you need to stay true to the cause. Thank you. Those person know themselves. And it was good being able to come on, and I realize it is true because I met a couple of people today who I've never met before who say they follow, and I think that we have a responsibility as black people. And as I say, everyone is supposed to be deemed to be called an influencer, because if you don't influence someone, someone is going to influence you. I also believe that, you know, the mainstream is there to influence you. And therefore, if you're not careful, you'll be influenced. So you got to also push back. And just like how you have lovely mangoes or so, or different fruits out there, that doesn't mean to say you got to pick everyone. You can choose diligently which one you want to pick, which one you want to eat as well. Hope that makes sense. And yeah, so definitely see you around. And as for the event today, we will hopefully advise as to what we're going to be doing next. I believe very much that we're going to be doing some town hall on the internet, on live, getting people to talk about it because I've been talking to different persons. I want to get KC, King's Council U Small, who is presently in Budapest. And ladies and gentlemen, great. And those who watch the World Championship, I'm not a sports fanatic, but was good watching the ladies today. Good watching the men today, and the two bits which I came in and saw. So you see the athletic, the power and the stride of the women and the stride of the men, and you realize that they didn't just happen overnight. They had to work and they had to practice and they had to, get with the program. They got to be obedient to their coaches. And there's some thing going on with another guy. I think his name Tracy or so from Jamaica. But anyway, we can go on and touch on to an area which I'm not very educated on. All right. So God bless you. Peace out. Have a good night and see you next Saturday night and also Thursday. And have a good bank holiday. And for those going to Carnival, stay safe. We want to make sure that this Carnival, nothing happens because, of course, there are detractors and those who actually want for the Carnival not to keep taking place in South London. Sorry, in Nottingham Gate, and I want to take it to different places. But let's see if we can make it a very peaceful one. As for me, I'm going to do some gardening. I like to do gardening on bank holidays, and it's always sunny. Okay, God bless you. Bye bye.